Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey has finally arrived in theaters all the way back in 1926. An author by the name of A.A. Milne created Winnie the Pooh in the 100-Acre Woods to entertain children and keep them smiling. Flash forward us to 96 years later, Winnie the Pooh has now hit public domain, meaning anybody and everybody is allowed to make their own version of Winnie the Pooh. And it did not take long for someone to make a murderous, rampaging, wild version of Winnie the Pooh. Let's talk about this dang movie. I'll put timestamps in the description if there's a specific area of the movie you want me most to skip to. I'm gonna keep the first part of this spoiler free, so if you're someone who actually wants to spend money to go see this, you can still go in kind of surprised. Then I'll be diving into spoilers, getting into details about things I found wacky, dumb, or kind of fun. Then ending things off with letting you know about the future of this franchise, because let me tell you, this is already a cinematic universe. The same creative team behind this movie have already confirmed Winnie the Pooh 2 is happening. Not just that, but they are weeks away from filming the Bambi horror movie and a Peter Pan horror movie that'll all be set in the same universe as Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. So if you're someone who is as deranged as me to want to go see this movie, tell me your opinion about this film down below, and maybe what character you think deserves the next horror movie treatment. Alright, so let's get into it. This is obviously going to become a trend in Hollywood now. Just the idea of taking a beloved childhood character, twisting and turning them into some horror-mangled creature is something we just got to get used to now, okay? They already came out with a Grinch version titled The Mean One. You guys might have seen my breakdown on that horrendous film, but I'm actually someone that is always all up for these kind of movies. Being a horror fan, give me something twisted, man. That's not gonna change how I feel about good old Winnie the Pooh. I think there is an outlet to get creative here and see how you can turn something just as lovable, nostalgic, and then maybe take its own lore, flip it on its head, and deliver a decent horror movie. So although I never really thought Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was gonna be a masterpiece, sure, I memed it up because it's freaking Winnie the Pooh killing people. I'm sorry, but why wouldn't you want to see that, honestly? So now having paid $15 to sit in the theater and watch this thing go down, yeah, it's no surprise to me that it was bad, but it was also pretty entertaining. There's a couple of positive things I think Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey did that maybe other people trying to make their own horror versions of familiar characters can take some notes from. For one, you might notice the trend that these movies are made on a micro budget. Like, Piglet and Winnie in this movie are supposed to be anthropomorphic beasts in here, but they clearly look like people in masks. No matter how hard they tried in this movie, there is no way you're shaking that feeling. You just know these are guys wearing latex masks. But minor props to the director and cinematographer in here, because there were shots in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey that looked absolutely fire. Even though, like I was saying, these look like dudes in masks, I was kind of captivated by the design choice for Winnie the Pooh here. And that design, when it's actually framed and lit well, actually looks pretty good on camera. Taking into account their small budget in here, you guys might be looking at the screen going, why does this actually look kind of badass right now? Along with that, they also knew where to spend some of the money in here, because while the kills aren't anything like super amazing, like I think if you watch Terrifier, that has just spoiled you for low budget practical kills, but there were a couple of kills in here that kind of felt like carnage candy for me, and that's really what I was wanting to see. Winnie the Pooh take down some people in a twisted way. But that's really where the positives end for this movie. Other than their choice in lighting and some gory kills, the rest is just unimaginative and bad. My biggest gripes with these kind of movies is fine. You want to take an IP that is recognizable to the whole world. As soon as you said Winnie the Pooh horror movie, you instantly made like at least $100,000 before anybody sees anything, just because we've never seen that. So show it to me. Let's see what you got. But at least take the time to explore the world and take advantage of what you want to rip off. Yeah, they have Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and Christopher Robin. That's about as much as they do with it. I like the opening animation they had in this movie where they kind of explain the origin of this particular version of the character and how Christopher Robin's relationship worked with these creatures throughout the movie. It made me go, okay, they're gonna take advantage of some Winnie the Pooh lore, maybe create some of their own stuff. After that opening, it just becomes a typical lackluster slasher that could have been about anything. I wish Christopher Robin was more involved here, but he really isn't used at all, and I'm like, isn't the point of ripping off these things is to take advantage of well-known characters? Why then are we focusing on a group of girls going on a getaway in a cabin, giving them their own backstories, their own little personalities and problem, and making them the focus of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey? It just screams that you had the cliche idea of a slasher set in a cabin in the woods and went, oh wait, we can call this one Winnie the Pooh? Let's do that, guys. The stories and connections they give these group of girls is just so uninteresting. They throw in this whole side story to the final girl of the movie that just feels completely pointless to the entire movie. And once those characters are set up, then it just becomes taking them down one by one till the credits roll. That's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now look, before I get into spoilers, I will say though, if you have the mildest of curiosity and you actually were like, I kind of want to see Winnie the Pooh kill some people, I say give this a watch. It's bad, but it's watchable and it's entertaining. I wouldn't say it goes to the levels of so bad it's good. It could have been that if it didn't take itself so seriously. There's so many moments in here where they're thinking they're like really dramatic, heartbreaking actors, and I'm like, this is Winnie the Pooh slashing people up when no one's taking this seriously. But honestly, I don't think this is like horrendous, unwatchable, like what am I doing with my life? I think like it's good for a one-time laugh. I don't know if you'd ever want to watch it again, but there's enough in here to keep you entertained till those credits roll. But okay, now if we want to go into full spoiler territory, this is only if you've watched the movie or you don't care for it to be spoiled in your face. Let's start from the beginning though. So they create their own lore here. They do set up, Christopher Robin meets these characters in the 100-acre woods, but they make it very specific. These are hybrid creatures. They're not necessarily figments of his imagination or just animals with human traits. They're basically half animal, half human. That's why like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet have thumbs and fingers, or just really to explain why they look like men in masks. And the movie explains it that they became friends, everything was good, but then over the years, Christopher Robin matured, had to go to college, and because he was the one always visiting them and bringing food with him every time, when Christopher Robin went off to college, they started starving and reduced back to their animal instincts to the point that they killed one of their own, Eeyore. Side note, I also want to mention this is another positive with the movie. They don't have the budget to retell this whole story, get kid actors in there, make little kid costumes of all the Winnie the Pooh friends. Instead, they just tell it through some hand-drawn animation that actually looks decent. To me, it kind of fits with the vibe, and I didn't find it cheap at all. It actually was a great way to set up the movie and also shows you how creative you can be when you have a limited budget. But then the movie takes us years later. Christopher Robin has now graduated from college. He has a love of his life. He wants to introduce her to his best friends in the whole world, only to realize these creatures now resent Christopher Robin and they want nothing but to get some payback on him. But yeah, they kill Christopher Robin's wife and then they hold Christopher Robin hostage, and the movie moves over to these girls in the cabin in the woods. I'm not really going to take the time to explore the backstories of each one of these girls because like I said, they're not really interesting. But the one girl they were setting up to be the final girl, or I guess the main character other than Christopher Robin in here, they give her this whole backstory that she was dealing with a stalker in her life. That back home there'd be some pervy man that'd be following her and watching her in her room to the point where when she was asleep, he would sneak into her house and try to undress her. Creepy stuff for sure, but it doesn't like add anything to the movie. It's just like something they randomly throw in there. I thought maybe that this stalker was going to come into the movie at one point and then, Winnie and Piglet can then go ahead and take him down because he's a disgusting man. But all they do with that is like for 5 minutes of the movie, they think Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are the stalker that's coming back for them. And then they realize, oh, this is not the stalker. So what was the point of that? From there, it just became killing them off one by one until we got to the end. My favorite kill had to be the one involving this like girl obsessed with social media. She's the one that's sitting in the hot tub while Winnie the Pooh and Piglet sneak up on her. They tried really hard to do their own version of the lights on, lights off scene from Halloween 2018, but I don't think they pulled it off so well. Nevertheless, they eventually get their hands on her. They hog tie her, and then you just have Winnie the Pooh sitting in a car, revving his engine, looking back at Piglet. They're nodding at each other going, we gonna do this? We gonna do this. And those are some of the moments where I'm like, yo, these kind of shots looking badass. You have the light hitting Piglet just right. Winnie the Pooh sitting in his car with some red lights hitting his face. All ending off with Winnie the Pooh running over the head of this girl. And although there was some CGI thrown in there, it was the best kill of the movie. I wish we could have gotten more like that, but at least that was a yummy treat as a horror fan. Also, now that we're in spoilers, talking in depth with some of the stuff that just like, really, this is what you want to do with the Winnie the Pooh characters? Why you gotta have them having sledgehammers, chains around their neck, and Winnie the Pooh busting out a kitchen knife like he's Michael Myers? It doesn't really help us buy into the fact that these are supposed to be living animal creatures. I do give them props though for moments in the movie where they use CGI to make Winnie the Pooh's ears wiggle, and for split seconds, like blink and you miss moments, they'll also CGI the mask so it looks like he's smiling, he's frowning, or he's mad. But they happen so quick, you don't get to enjoy that. They also gave Winnie the Pooh a kind of cool power in here randomly throughout the movie. It happens like twice, I'm assuming because of the budget. Winnie the Pooh has the power to command a swarm of bees. First time it shows up in the movie, he's just walking around looking for his victims, and you just see the bees go around him, and it's like, okay, he's got kind of like a Candyman effect. Then later on in the movie, he's going up against a bunch of mechanics, and then one is running away, and Winnie the Pooh just kind of Jedi mind tricks those bees to go after him, and he walks away. That's some of that creative stuff I wish they did more of. The boy likes honey, bees are around him, he befriends them, and he can command them. I buy it. Why not? Finally, though, bringing us to the ending of the movie that I felt was just kind of meh, we're left with the final girl of the movie who had the backstory about the stalker. She's about to get slaughtered by Winnie the Pooh, and then Christopher Robin, who has been held hostage most of the movie, finally has escaped, and then with a truck, rams Winnie the Pooh up against another car. Of course, because Winnie the Pooh is like an absolute beast in this movie, it doesn't kill him, but surprise, surprise, they do end up killing the final girl, and then Christopher Robin gets to live free, running away in the woods. Credits. And you want to know the funniest part of everything here? There's no post-credit scene in here. There's no mid-credit scene. But if you do wait to the very last credits, you can read the words, Winnie the Pooh will return. Are we in the MCU here? My theater audibly laughed when that came up on screen. What do you mean, Winnie the Pooh will return? But okay, getting to the part of the video where I talk about the future, because yes, this is a cinematic universe. Just like it says there, Winnie the Pooh will return. That's because they have confirmed they are gonna get a sequel to this movie. It's gonna be happening, and it'll have 5 times the budget of this movie, where they're trying to kill over 100 people in this film. The creative team have even compared it to Terrifier 2, where they want to go that big with this sequel. Along with that, here's an interview on what you can expect with the other fairy tale creatures.
Which one would you make?
We're doing it.
Next.
So in a month, I'm directing Bambi.
You're doing it already.
Yeah. So we're doing Bambi, and there's a big twist at the end that you will not see coming. So, and you won't be able to guess it, but yeah, there's a big twist for that. And then you're doing Winnie the Pooh 2.
Yeah, the sequel's getting...
There is a sequel.
Yeah, we get kind of like slowly working on it now.
We've got 5 times the budget of this, so expect about 100 people to die. We're going to kill so many people in this, and a big thing is you won't just be seeing him and Piglet. There's gonna be some other friends joining. Yeah.
So you talked about Bambi and some other friends. Are we talking multiverse type of
not
scenario,
yet, not yet. That's later down the line when we start running out of ideas. At the moment, this is just
they're very isolated at the moment.
Yeah.
But we were talking about that earlier, weren't we? We're going to try and set them in the same sort of world.
So later they can meet.
We have the option of making Bambi versus Pooh.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not interested, because I was entertained by this laughably bad movie. But this also feels like a one-and-done trick to me. I don't know if I really care to see more. I'm sort of optimistic seeing how much they were able to accomplish with this small budget, that maybe 5 times that they can provide an actual good or decent movie. But if not that, I am kind of curious with the idea of Winnie the Pooh versus Bambi. That's just something you gotta see, right? Like, if they're gonna provide it for me, I gotta show up. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I definitely need to hear from you guys. What did you think of the film? Your favorite moments, your least favorite moments, and what are you looking forward to in this horror fairy tale cinematic universe? Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.